Here's Anatolii. In this video I would like to show you how I usually save data from datasheets into Python into Pandas environment, so I could easily access it for simulations in Plex or for efficiency calculations. Here we have a datasheet from ST Microelectronics, and I would say this method works pretty well with the datasheets which are coming recently for new devices. And if you take a look, all of the plots here, they come in vector format. So if we open it in any software like Inkscape or some Adobe Illustrator, which allow us to work with the PDF files, for example, so I'm using Affinity Designer, and actually it's really good and not so expensive, but you get a lot of additional functionality of professional vector software. So if I open the datasheet here, okay, you can see that we get the spread of the all pages and we can access any of them. And you see we have a vector file and I can select any curve. Okay, so far there is of course a way to use these coordinates we have here. So we have x and y, and we also can check it for each point. But so far using this it's a little bit messy and I still couldn't find a quick go around to access this data from the coordinates. What I do instead, first of all, I paint these curves into different color, so software like webplotdigitizer could recognize it easier, and then we can have the data. And then so I just take a screenshot of that and then I put it in webplotdigitizer. Okay, so first thing here, I have to specify the axis for x, and let's a little bit move it. So the x is changing from 0 to 20, and for y, which is changing from 0 to 900 microjoule. Yeah, but we can put it at any point. So yeah, 0 to 20, and here 0 to, I think I put 8, and it will be 0.8 millijoules. So what I can do now, if I select the color and then mask this area, the software will try to read only the selected area of the picture and then give us the coordinates between 0 and 20, which we put here. What I usually use, I prefer using step algorithm with interpolation, and I usually put step something like 1. So we have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and so on, up to 20. And here it also makes sense to put a little bit more data, so it doesn't stop at 19 but goes to 20 instead. Sometimes it doesn't take the last value. And if we run it, so you see we get exactly the numbers we wanted. So there is 5, 6, 7, 8, and so on. Now to do it for the next set of data, we need to create the second data set, and we call it on. And for this one we just repeat the same actions. First we select the color, and then we put some mask to specify the area which we would like to digitize. And again we select the step and increase a little bit the ranges and run it, and here we have the same. So both data sets, we have them from 5 to 20. Okay, so I think it also would be nice to change this one, and we can save it, export. Okay, so now I'm here in Jupyter Notebook or Jupyter Lab, and let's try and read the data and see what was saved. So first of all I would like to read the CSV file which we have, and the name is, I can see it here, WPD datasets, and it is a CSV. So let's take a look at the data file right away using the method head. And so yeah, we have the name of the dataset which we provided, and also have x and y values. First of all, we don't really need to repeat this x values, so you see they're basically the same. And if we increase the step, so we have the dataset ranging between 5 and 20. So what we can do instead, we can only import the first, the second, and the last values, and for this we use the parameter useCalls, and here we have to provide a list, so there will be 0, 1, and 3. And yeah, so another point, maybe it makes sense to change the headers right away, and for this one there is a parameter called names, and again we need to provide a set, and here in parentheses we just give the names of the headers, so it will be id, eof, and eon. And the last thing to do, we need to extend these first two lines from import, and for this operation we have a parameter called skip rows. And actually, if when your cursor is just standing here, you press shift and tab, you can get some help about which parameters you can use in this method. So we see it: file path, separator, delimiter, and so on. The header, which we used, no, we haven't, we used names, use calls, and so on. And if you scroll down, there is also a big help what you can do with all of this. So yeah, the one I wanted to use at this point is skip rows, and I will set it to 1, 2. Okay, so that looks pretty good to me. So we can just go ahead and plot it right away. And to plot, I need to provide the x-axis and two y-axis, which are off energy and turn on energy. And if I plot it now, so yeah, let's also put the grid. So for this one there is a parameter grid which we just need to enable and set it to true. Okay, so if we compare it now with this, the plot which we had at the beginning, I would say they are very similar, and maybe they're almost the same, but yeah. So what you can do with it further, you can save it in some file like CSV file, or you can combine several files for different devices, and then you can use them in any type of calculations for efficiency of power converters, and this can be done in Plex or in Python or anywhere else. Thank you for watching this video, and don't forget to subscribe, put likes, and also don't forget to share this video so more people can find my channel.